Welcome to Smutty Scriptures, the podcast where three best friends gather together to explore the holy texts of fantasy romance novels. I'm Head Priest Blue Cromwell, and I'm joined by my sisters in sin, Cuddlefish and Purple Space Cat, to tell you all about our thoughts on this episode's sacred text. We are actually finishing Heir of Fire today. We have already done an episode on our first 35-ish chapters, so we have completed that now, which is the third book of the Throne of Glass series. Very exciting.
Holy shit balls.
Yeah, are you feeling it?
This is like a completely different book in the it's a different book in the series. Yeah, no, I know, but it's like feels like an ACOTAR novel, and I'm so
It
does. I know I said that, and I really liked it, but I did take this and I smacked my husband, and I told him, I was like, I just need you to turn into a hawk. And he was very concerned, and because no context needed,
No.
Of course, he should just get it.
No.
But I did.
If he
took
wanted
the book.
to, he would.
Exactly. I took the book
love.
and I smacked him with it.
Mhm, as you do.
Did it work?
I just need you to turn into a hawk. And he gave me a weird look, and I'm like, listen, we could have different animals. That's fine. I'm open to negotiation. I would be okay with a wolf or a pretty kitty.
So you're willing to compromise, is what I'm hearing.
Or the odd camel or goat if need be. And he was like, oh, that's nice. But just not supportive. Just not supportive in the slightest. So that was my time.
Yeah, the
So
fact you
when's
didn't immediately turn into a hawk is honestly bullshit, to be honest.
It is. It's rude and uncaring.
You don't ask for much. You know what I mean?
I know.
No.
Just be a shape-shifting fae that loves me through the end of time.
So you like this book better than the first two, I assume.
Oh my god, I love the second half. This is the best thing in this series, the second half of the novel. Hands down.
Oh yeah.
And I'm hoping it gets better from here.
I also want to say that I really love where we left off, because we left off in the cavey thingy with not an octopus, but kind of a serpent, but not a dragon, but
Maybe
kind
like
of a
worm.
fish, but not a worm.
No. Like the kind of worm that Pharaoh might have fought, but like spiky, but like not.
But apparently it also talked to some other dude and then let him go. But he wanted to eat them. I don't know. Shit's weird. But my point is that I'm really glad that we left off right before that, because I think that was coming in and be like, oh, right, shit's happening. Okay. On the other hand, I did have to reread chapter 35 many times over the course of an hour, because I was like, what's happening? Who are these people? What's going on?
I didn't know the sword and the ring in that situation were going to be so impactful to the part 2, I guess, of the novel. I had no idea.
I did.
Did you really?
I flagged that shit and I was like, we're going to come back to this. I did have a weird place, though, for that. If you look in chapter 35, I have it on page 299. I thought this was really weird, and I don't know what it means, because it's just like, you mentioned and then they go away, but it's towards the end of chapter 35, and it says, page 299.
In the scriptures.
In the scripture, in the holy text. It says, it took every ounce of effort not to grab for her pocket in the ring she'd put there, or to examine the sword she'd left by the door. And the ruby that might not be a ruby after all.
What, like it was the eye of the...
I don't know.
Not a fish?
But it was impossible. Too much of a coincidence. Too much of a coincidence for what, Sarah? That doesn't make any sense.
What's going on here?
I don't know what that means. What does that even mean?
I guess I took that as
One
like...
time she finally starts to put shit together and we don't understand what's going on.
Fair enough.
Right.
Listen there, Selena.
I guess I took it as like one of the stories that Emrys would have told her at one point, like about Maeve's lover. Maybe they mentioned certain some certain descriptions going on here. That's the only thing that I thought of, but I didn't put that together until after we revealed the plot point of the sword and the ring.
So is the ruby in the sword, or is the ruby in the ring?
It's in the hilt of the sword, is it not?
Yeah. The ring is just a gold band. And I did not follow along with what the fuck they were talking about, with that big reveal with the ring, completely missed it until the end. I was like, what? Who?
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh. Am I supposed to know who that is?
It's okay. The reveals get better. Just remember Akatar. They get better.
Goofy.
I thought that overall, though, this book was, at least the second half of it, was very empowering. And it was hella heavy on character development. It's just fucking everywhere. Like, there's some character development. There's some character development. She like Oprah handing out character development to everybody.
You're gonna get a character arc, and you're gonna get a character arc, and you're gonna get a character arc.
He gets character arcs.
Yeah, I did love it though. The second half. I mean, I'm bought into the series already. Throne of Glass was a little rough. Crown of Midnight, I was like, I see we're ramping up. I felt like I'm on the roller coaster and I'm getting there. And I feel like Heir of Fire, I'm still there. I haven't had my big, my drop in my roller coaster ride, so to speak. But this one was definitely so far out of what we've read, just one of the most well written. It did give me Akatar vibes where I just couldn't set it down. It was very, very solid.
Agreed. I still personally like Feyre better than Selena, so I'm invested. But I'm like, eh. But Rowan, though, I'm Team Rowan. Hands down. I'm Team Rowan.
The more that I get to know Aileen, however you want to say it, the more that I get to know her, the more I like her. Because I don't dislike Feyre at all. We love Feyre. Love her to death. She's literally still my computer background. And I cried after we finished reading her books, because I was like, I'll never get a book from Feyre's point of view ever again. Like, I was distraught, okay? I love her. But she's such an unreliable narrator compared to... Aileen purposely does, Selena, all that character arc stuff, they purposely hide information from you, which is, fine, because, it's evidence of, Selena hiding it from herself, and, I get that. But Feyre kind of, once we got, Nesta's point of view, it was a little, for me, for Feyre, a little bit. It didn't ruin her character arc for me or anything. But, in the first book of Akatar, where she's and Nesta wanted new shoes just because she wanted new shoes, bougie, blah, blah, blah. And then Nesta's, there is a fucking hole in these. They don't, you go back to the cabin and you, see that Feyre just was either blind to her sister's needs in that moment or something like that, just interpreted a different way. Again, we can talk about Sarah J. Maas's love of miscommunication all fucking day. We can have a 40-hour-long TED Talk if we really wanted to about that, but...
I just feel like we need to sit her down with every relationship that she's ever had and be like, well, we need to talk. Because you clearly don't know what communication is.
Never heard of it. But I think I'm a little bit more interested in Aileen and Selena versus Feyre, but it depends. It's very nuanced, and I fucking love Feyre too, and I'm glad I get to exist in a world where I can like both of them, obviously, though.
I think that instead of being Team Rowan, I'm probably Team Cousin.
Adian?
Yeah.
I just called him Cuz.
Well, that's weirder.
That's a lot weirder.
Hey,
Leave
hold on.
me alone.
What do you mean by that?
Because they're cousins.
Well, right.
Do you mean in the brown chicken, brown cows section?
No. They don't do that. That's not a thing.
They talked about that.
Yeah. He said, damn, if she wanted me to be her husband, I would.
No.
It was
Dude,
there.
I hated that conversation. It was, I hated it. I was so angry.
I hate men trying to make decisions for women, especially when they're not there.
Okay,
especially when it's about
that's
romance?
A cousin looking out for his cousin. Let's be fucking for real.
Oh god, that was some Kentucky shit. No offense, Kentucky.
Selena.
I take it back. I'm so sorry. I love fried chicken. I apologize.
Our Kentucky viewership drops.
Just edit that part out. Just edit.
I'm keeping it. The people deserve to know. God. Selena, get a love interest that isn't related to you challenge. They're all related to her, bro. Besides Kale, who they've already broken up with.
Well, at least he's the only one she's slept with.
Yeah, you're right. So far. Who fucking knows?
And you know what's going to happen? In the next book, we're going to fall in love with Sam, knowing he's going to die.
I'm already not ready.
I had to stop putting shit on our Pinterest page because all of this fan art just kept popping up about people being in love with other people. And I was like, oh, no, I don't know what's real and what's not real. This is very confusing.
Scrolls rapidly.
So I just had to stop adding stuff to the Pinterest board after a while. And I was like, I'm sure something got spoiled, but everybody be with everybody out here in this fan art.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that's gonna rip our fucking hearts out to finally read Assassin's Blade. Like, oh my god. I'm not
So
ready.
we are doing the prequel next?
I think so. We are, for our listeners who are reading along with us, we're doing the romantic style. So,
Yes.
yeah, to our knowledge, yeah, the next one is Assassin's Blade.
We are truly masochists. Rip my heart out, Sarah. Take it from me.
No.
Nail it on your wall.
No.
Oh, that's
Take
a
it
little
as
harsh.
a trophy.
Or don't.
She already has it. Let's be
Fine.
real.
Do your worst.
Let's be
No,
real.
maybe don't. Don't test her.
She'll do it. She'll fucking do
She
it.
will. Just leave her alone.
Don't give her any
Don't
ideas.
tempt fate.
Goofies. Well, about Heir of Fire so far, I know we're feeling really positive about this second half, which I love to hear. Do we have a favorite part?
I do. It's a really small part, but it made me stop and I got chills and I wanted to cry a little bit because it's one of those where I just connected with the verbs and the verbs, the words that she used. It is chapter 55. Why is it always chapter 55? Okay.
That's her favorite
Maybe she
number.
has a thing. She's like, oh, 55. It's got to be a doozy.
It's time. Chapter 55. It's right in the thick of them, and they're like, oh, I knew that it would work. We're Karanam or Karanam, Karanam.
Karamanam.
And then they're like, I claim you. Oh my God. Then it was really 474 at the top, and it's one sentence, and it says, because hers was not a story of darkness. And I fucking cried.
Oh no.
She's saying, yet this was not the end. This was not her end. She had survived loss and pain and torture. She had survived slavery and hatred and despair. She would survive this too, because hers was not a story of darkness. So she was not afraid of that crushing black. Not with the warrior holding her, not with the courage of having one true friend offered, a friend who made living not so awful after all, not if she were with him. And that shit, because hers is not a story of darkness. That's like, I want everyone that has ever gone through any kind of stuff to know that, like, that's us, you know? Like, we're gonna be okay because ours is not a story of darkness. We have survived all of that bullshit, and we're going to make it through. Because
Anybody with trauma needs to hear that.
It was like she was talking to me, not talking to Selena. So it was kind of like a weird fourth wall break almost, where the book was like, I see you, Cuddle. And I'm like, no, you don't.
Stop that. Stop looking at me.
Don't perceive me. But it did, man. It struck me to my fucking core. And I would I hear that. And I cried.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part.
That was definitely Selena stepping into Aelin and a happiness. And it's very reminiscent of two very different characters, two very different journeys. But it gives me like Nesta's character arc moment from A Court of Silver Flames. And watching her, like, I am the waves, like, I will not break. Hers is like that, I will not be afraid line. And that was really powerful.
There's a lot that was really powerful in the second half. My favorite part was Carol finally picking a side.
Ugh, about damn time.
Right.
It was kind of like a bittersweet. I was like, yes, but also like, God damn it. That was a fucking struggle, pulling goddamn teeth. But at the end, I was like, thank Christ, you finally fucking did something. But the big one was Dorian standing up to his dad.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you. I was like, oh, right. Yes, queen.
The way
King.
my heart broke
Oh no.
in that scene
Oh,
when they're
no.
like, it only took one swing. And I'm like, I wasn't even that attached to her.
Neither was her head to her body.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
God, no.
So no head.
that's
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. R.I.P. Sorcerer. Sorry.
that was harsh. Well, just like you were talking, Cuddle, about people with trauma needing to hear that line about her story not being about darkness. I feel that people like me who've got issues with their parents we felt like a big catharsis about finally standing up to King Daddy and just fucking punching him in the face with magic. I wish that I could bellow and metaphorically punch my failed parental units and responsible adults of all various degrees for the things that they did and failed to do. And I know what kind of pressure and struggle that it was for him to do it, and just finally getting the ability to, stand up to him. Ugh.
Yeah.
Hashtag
really
feel.
I did love that moment with Dorian. It made me really nervous, though. I feel like, as somebody who also has a lot of issues around that general category of life, the moment you realize that you can yell back is a very powerful, very strange feeling. But that's not to say it's not going to come with a lot of consequences. The whole magic thing is going to be rough. I mean, obviously, we saw him be collared after that, and we don't really know the extent of what that means. Hopefully, Selena will go and save his ass, but it's a very powerful moment.
She's got to.
I love that Dorian has had as much of an arc this book, it seems, as Selena. Maybe not as much, but as impactful, I guess I would say. My favorite part, though, is we're starting to get that with Manon. I loved the part with the, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to butcher this, but the Croken Witch with the...
Cochrane, I thought?
It's C-R-O.
So it's Croken.
I mean, it's Sarah J. Maas, let's be honest. It's not
I don't know, I've been
pronounceable
saying
regardless.
Cochrane.
Yeah, I'm going to say Croken. I mean, neither one are good. I mean, because she is Croken. She did. She fucking did. R.I.P.
Let's call her a cassette tape. Like,
I'm
it's
just
fine.
a little spicy this episode. I don't really know what's happening there, but
I'm here for it.
She's a Cocker Spaniel. The Cocker Spaniel witch.
She's a Krogan. Fuck everything.
Oh my god. I loved the scene, though, with her. You could tell Manon goes into detail about how this woman had obviously been tortured for weeks, that, like, she had gone through an excruciating amount of physical pain because she was spying on these other 3 witch groups and gathering intel, whatnot, and they could not allow that kind of nonsense to occur. And Manon's grandmother puts her in front of her to be like, okay, fucking kill her, fucking slit her throat. Like, it's just incredible to see the level of manipulation that these tribes will have toward their people of, you are heartless, you are cold, you have no feeling, you should be... Brutality and violence, those are your core tenets, just about. And loyalty and obedience. Those are your things. The level of manipulation was intense, and I really like that. We've seen this relationship with Abraxas and Manon, where through this relationship with her wyvern, whatever you want to say, she is, like, opening up to these unnatural feelings to her of joy and companionship. And when her dragon is shielding her from the rain, she feels something for the first time. She doesn't really know. She's never been exposed to this side of life, and she is struggling to understand that. So when that witch is sitting there and it's like, you guys have hearts and souls, you have always had them, we pity you because of the level you're abused as a tribe. Everything, it's basically this moment, this first little seed to Manon of everything you know is not true. Everything you know is manipulated. Nothing about your surrounding, what you thought, she has her whole worldview planned around this family structure and these lessons that she's learned, right? This brutality, this violence, hunting down this group of witches particularly, right? And I can't wait to see where that goes, because Manon's so fucking cool. She's got to be, like, probably one of my favorite characters in general. But just watching that, I'm so excited. So I'd say, like, their whole, like, relationship and bond was, even though it wasn't as big of a moment in the second half, was got to be one of my favorites.
Yeah, I thought Manon's parts were a little dull compared to the first part. I feel like overall it's still a really great storyline.
Yeah.
Fantastic fucking characters.
Maybe its
And
own
I am
book.
so excited.
Right.
to read more.
Yes.
But I feel like this particular set of events wasn't as exciting as it was in the first, but that's okay. It didn't need to be super exciting. She had some shit she had to get done. I was a little underwhelmed with the spider scene. I thought she could have gone further. I'm also
I liked it.
kind of surprised that she shoved them off a cliff and like nothing bad.
Yeah.
I was like, your other clan worships these people or spiders, and you're just like kill
everything's
them
fine.
and like it's totally
it's
fine.
fine.
But I love that. Selena would have been sitting there for 36 hours. Like, how do I beat this fucking puzzle and this riddle and this bet? How do I get out of here? And Manon's just like, give me that shit. Run. Go. Like, she's just fucking stealing. I thought that was so, like, I don't know, human, I guess, in a way. Like, hey man, Sarah, if you don't have the time for an extra puzzle, I loved that. I love just getting in there, getting to the point, grabbing what you need. Not a very realistic shopping trip, but I love it for her. I love it for Manon.
I can't shake the feeling that that's gonna have some sort of consequences later.
I hope it does. Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate Manon. I love the character, and I don't want bad things to happen. But like, I kind of want bad things to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because she's really close with that specific group's leader. I mean, she saved her life at one point in the story here. So I would assume if that comes back to haunt her, maybe it'll be like this, hey, I'm not going to kill you, but we have no longer, I don't owe you anything anymore, because thank you for saving my life.
Sorry, your God's dead.
Mean? What the fuck do you mean you killed something we've been worshipping for like hundreds of years? Like, and you stole? You stole how many yards when 1 yard is like worth fucking, what do they even say the equivalent was? A shit ton of souls. Like,
yeah.
So, and Manon's just like, yeah, I'm gonna need about 10, and I'm gonna need them for about 3.
I loved that part. I just didn't like the no consequences part. I just didn't think it.
Yeah.
It seemed kind of rushed, I guess, was my only thing. I still enjoyed it. I just wanted more from that particular section. I thought the descriptions were great. I thought all that stuff was wonderful. There's one more. I wanted more from the actual bartering. Like, I wanted the spider people to be like less okay.
Sure.
I wanted them to be like, what? Maybe like have her do some sort of a stupid task or bring them something to make them trust her a little bit. I don't know, something like
a fetch quest for Manon when she could simply just steal.
No, like to even be willing to bring it out. If it's like that precious, I can't imagine they'd be like, okay, let's just go get the thing. No big deal.
Maybe I should take the way the sun shines in your hair.
Selena.
Manon's like, oh no. Don't
my
take
beauty.
And I hate
crazy.
it. I hated all the talk about, oh, I wish I were a human lady so that way I could sleep with a man. Honey, no.
That's 25 seconds of your life.
Oh my god.
It could not be me.
Kidding.
Thanks, I hate it.
So that was your favorite part? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think so. All the Dorian stuff, all of the Manon stuff, just really seeing her open up.
Yeah. What would you say would be like your least favorite part then?
I really don't know if I have one. I was pretty happy with how everything worked out. I liked the fact Manon did that. There are some moments that surprised me, but I don't know if I could really pinpoint anything exactly that I would consider my least. What about you guys?
Oh, well, I did not enjoy Adian and Ren talking about like almost wanting to decide whether or not Adian and Aelin would end up being married without even talking to her. I did not enjoy that. But what I also didn't enjoy was all the fucking names that Aelin / Selena / Fire / Alentia, and there was one Aelin of the Wildfire, Aelin Fireheart, Aelin Lightbringer.
Wasn't there like something to do with an oath in there somewhere?
But then here's
like
the crazy
oath
part.
Returner or something.
But the part that really like just twisted my noodle was, that's a weird thing for me to say.
I'm not
the part that
cutting it.
really kind of pissed me off was when they explained what the damn thing on her forehead And the fact that it meant the nameless mark. And I'm like, bitch, you couldn't be further from the truth. This bitch has more names than any person I've ever seen in the history of the world.
Yeah, as a trans person who has changed their name, how does she have so many names?
But no, she's nameless.
Yeah. Are you kidding?
It's like
can't be named.
Mm-hmm. That's why she has so many names, because they won't fucking stick.
If you had a phone book, you would need an entire chapter just dedicated to her aliases, so that way people could look her up and find her appropriately.
Oh my God, could you imagine being her and filling out government forms? Like, request another form if you need more space to list your aliases.
Or being like half drunk at a party and someone's trying to shout your name behind. Is that me? I don't know. I'm fun to everything. Like,
yeah. Yeah, she's all in Selena mode, and they're like, Alintia, hey, Fireheart, hey. And she's just fucking staring straight ahead, boy.
God.
Not a single thought behind those eyes.
Like, son of a bitch.
I want the puzzles handed to me
every fucking time
until I'm ready. And then I will figure out so much shit you won't even be able to follow it.
Yeah, except for that last part. I was just about to mention that with the ring and the sword with Maeve. Where did you get that, Aileen? Where did you find that? I mean, I know where you found it, but like, where are you connecting these dots? And why is it only in the text is like, is that a coincidence? The coincidence for what? Sarah!
That Selena's just got a ton of things on the wall with all the pins going, okay, so...
That's really why Rowan made her sleep in his room. He's like, we need to get you away from the board.
He's got his own board. He's got his own map. He's sitting there. They're the same person.
Can we talk for just a second about how weird that was?
Which part?
Just like, you don't sleep in your room anymore. You sleep in my room. And Selena's just like, okay.
Well, they're already made it at that point.
Okay, we will come back to that. We are going to come back.
Okay, we'll put a pin in it for
We're
now.
just going to pin in that.
Right.
Wall and put a pin in
right next to all of the other pins. Yeah.
What about you, Purple?
What was your least favorite?
My least favorite part was arguably the most important part of the entire book.
What do you mean by that?
Whenever she was like in her mind, like at the bottom of the well, and she finally relived or re-experienced the most harrowing part of her entire life, the thing that she couldn't face and yada, yada, yada. And the thing that she couldn't bring herself to remember. Otherwise, she was going to lose her fucking shit and destroy the world. And it was just a little bit more guilt.
I mean...
Hey, girl, my guy. Like, that's it? I thought like maybe you went apeshit and killed your parents. Like, that's a thing that I would get that. That's a special kind of guilt. But no, just more people died for you and you're sad about it. Do you have any idea how many other people have done that same thing and you have had the guilt? Like,
and how many more
is not
probably
even
will.
A special brand of guilt.
More
this
is
just
coming.
Regular.
More people are gonna die. Like,
that's crazy. No, they're not. That's not happening.
Okay.
It was just so underwhelming. Yeah, the story is good. Yeah, I'm sad about the lady, and yeah, it happened. Yeah, I get it. But I just was like, no, like I thought it was gonna be some super deep, dark, twisted shit, and then I was just like, oh no, I'm just a little bit extra sad because a little bit extra guilt.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Really? You dragged me all the way across this goddamn earth, all the way across the fucking continent for just... I was a little extra sad because another person had to get got for me. Bitch. Shut your fucking mouth, deal with your shit, grow the fuck up.
Oh.
Yeah. Honestly, though, that is real.
She did get a little whiny,
yeah, she will be like, oh my god, this one person who was sworn to protect me as I was like an 8-year-old child or whatever, they gave up their life for me.
And they got David.
And I know she's upset. But like then like thousands and hundreds of thousands of people potentially are dying in these slave camps because the king is like, hey, we're killing, there's a rebellion, so we're just not even going to bother investigating who started it. We'll just kill everyone there. And granted, she's upset, but it's not like the same, it doesn't hold the same weight. Like that was not one of the memories that she was going through with these beings that are traveling through her most horrific memories, right? Like that.
Yeah.
And I get it. Watching someone die at 8 years old is probably traumatic. Probably not a great time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's also killed a lot of people herself who also probably had husbands and children or whatnot. And
I just find it difficult to believe that the pinnacle of the deep dark is just more guilt.
Yeah, I would have liked if she had accidentally like killed her parents or something.
Yeah, or like if she had shouted or something or cried and then she got them found in the kitchen.
Yeah. It's fucking something.
Maybe she like burned through like a magical protection thing which allowed someone to get in to kill them, and then it would have been more like guilt.
Maybe she tried to protect the lady and then she turned around to be like, no, really, you have to go outside, and that gave Big Bad Dude the ability to chop her head off.
Yeah,
I would have accepted that. I've been like, okay, because that's specific.
Sure.
But it's just like, oh no.
I hate when that happens.
crazy.
Yeah.
I bet you were happy though that when Kale was running, he got the dog.
I was very happy because he was like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. And I'm like, do not leave without that dog. I will write so many letters.
I flagged that because I'm like, Purple's going to bring it up. Purple's going to bring it up.
I love it. I love it. And it gives like, it's a very Kale honorable, like, oh, cares so much about Selena move. But at the same time, it just like kind of gave me X energy. Like when they're like, oh my God, you left your hair tie here.
Oh,
I see you again.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm not busy today. I mean, if you want to come by, like have like a book of yours and like a toothbrush or something. So, like, you know what I mean? He's gonna have to see her again because the dog. Like, I mean, we all know eventually they're gonna get reunited at some point, but it just kind of gave me that a little bit. But it's a good moment for Kale. It'd be very unlike Kale to not go back and get the dog.
Oh, for sure.
So
the dog isn't innocent.
Yeah, just a baby.
It's just a
baby. Literally, though.
What I have a question for you about the dog. Just real quick. Okay. What breed of dog do you picture in your brain? In your brain hole, what kind of dog? I picture like Irish wolfhound.
Yeah, that's what I picture.
Like a Native American Indian dog, maybe?
I don't know what that looks like.
I don't even know what that would look like. No.
Furry boy.
I mean, they all pretty much have fur. So.
Extra furry boy.
One of the defining characteristics.
Definitely like a Pomeranian for sure.
You think a Pomeranian?
I would love it.
Just a giant Pomeranian.
A lot of people seem to draw Fleetfoot as like a golden retriever, though, and I didn't really get that.
No, I don't get that at all. I mean, they mentioned several times that it is big boy.
Yeah, so it has to be like Great Dane size, if anything, but like. They draw it just like a big ass golden retriever, and I'm like, I mean, go off, but are we sure?
If anybody wants to add some pictures to the Pinterest board, I would love to know what other people think about when they picture Fleetfoot.
What about surprising moments? I know we had a couple of twists and turns. Anything that surprised you the most?
I think Rowan pledging himself with the blood pact was. I was like, oh. Yeah. It wasn't unwelcome. It kind of threw me a little bit, but I want to like dive into that relationship lot more. So, okay. First of all, I love Reese.
Sure.
And Reese and Rowan are not the same.
No.
But
age difference is similar.
We're not going to think about that.
Right.
But I love Rowan. I'm like, at first I was like, oh, gosh, gross. You know.
Ew. At least
Rowan,
it's not diesel.
My main problem with Kale. We'll start. I can't discuss Rowan without discussing what I have a problem with Kale.
Right.
Kale is a whiny little prissy bitch who can't get his head out of his ass. He is a very closed-minded prick. I can only love you if you fit into the mold that I have. I don't like that you're a murderer, stabby stab blood lady. That worries me. I don't love you as much. And he kind of says that at one point in this. I'm much more eloquent. But he says on several occasions, and once in this snippet that I don't remember where, that bothered him. And you flash to Rowan. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? Kale says he loved Selena, but it's obvious to him that he could not love Aelin. But what I think gets me just head over heels for Rowan is that Rowan is like, I see Selena. Mm-hmm. I see Aelin. I don't care what name. What
about the
use.
other 27 names?
Yes, I know.
See all of them.
Mm-hmm. He says at one point that you can do whatever you set your mind to, regardless of what name you go by, because he's looking at the soul and the heart and the person within. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't try to change her or her past. He accepts her as she is and kind of has some annoyances and then story beneath, right? Mm-hmm. What does he do? He fucking flies away, is in a shit ton of fucking guilt because he feels like a complete asshat, because he kind of was. And he comes back, and that's when he starts taking care of her. And it's not so much a taking care of part that he grieves with her. He allowed to have that moment of just despair and like super sadness, and he doesn't try to fix it. He doesn't try to come in and swoop in and white knight the bullshit. He just sits there with her and he supports her, and he's like, whatever you need, I'm right here. It's gonna be okay. I'm right here. And that's why I'm gonna take my book and smack my husband and be like, you do that.
Be a hawk.
What? Yeah.
You know
whatever
why you like
he was
him, though,
doing.
right?
Huh?
You know why you like him.
Why?
You know why?
Because he's anti-Tamlin?
No, because it's your typical, they are seeing every single bad thing about you and then choosing to love you, so you feel more secure in that, other than someone loving you and discovering those negative sides of yourself and then not loving you as much, like Kale.
Oh.
Okay, well, this therapy session was free.
That's what you think.
I mean...
But, like, he lets her burn him. And I don't, like, listen.
Repeatedly.
I did tell my husband this. I'm like, I just need, because I was distraught. I was very upset. Mm-hmm. And when I hit him with the book, and I said, I just need you to let me do. Eyebrows went straight up. And I'm like, I don't, like, I'm not saying that I want to. I mean, sometimes, but, like, I just need you to be okay with it.
Right. Because of your potential trauma responses of lashing out and wanting someone who can see the good in you even when you're not acting like your true self.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
This therapy session will be $20 for the copay.
I just wanted to check in. Just wanted to see if you were maybe putting some pieces together.
I'm fine. Like, bro, okay, but he's so passionate. On page 302, right, when he's talking about his mate, it's deep in a fucking chapter. It's 35. He says he knows to the fucking day how many years it's been since he lost his mate. 203 years, 27 days, without a fucking skip of a beat. I'm like, hey babe, when's the last time I texted you? When's the last time I said I love you? I don't know. Like, earlier. Rowan's like 36 hours, 12 minutes, 32 seconds ago. I'm waiting.
Keeping track.
Just let me know when I can restart the clock. I really loved on his hockey trip to whatever.
After something that had left.
After she was in her little hot tub, and he went on his little hockey,
like with a puck and a stick, and you went hockey like caca. So
on his caca hockey trip while she was sitting in her makeshift hot tub. That he was like, I'm gonna save this, I'm gonna fix it, and then he had oh my god, so good. Oh, it was delectable. It was just like, wait, I'm gonna pause, and I'm gonna reflect on the situation, and I'm gonna see this that happened, and I'm going to see my response, And I'm going to see what happened to look at her response. Going to match them and then reflect and figure out if this is the best course of action. It's not. Okay, I'm not going to do White Knight because that's not what this calls for. I'm going to go and be supportive. And I was like, wait, you mean critical thinking skills? What the fuck is this? That was the sexiest thing I've ever read in my life. Was that clear critical thinking skills and decision making? I was like, God damn. And then the follow through.
Yeah, that's my kink right there. Yeah, I love Rowan. Honestly, the line on this page 517, so it's like near the end. The scene,
I just flipped to that page.
I love it. It's a scene where in our holy text where they are making that like blood oath. Which, first of all, Rowan, I get that we like trust Aelin, but like to go from one blood oath 2 minutes later to another blood oath,
that was a lot.
It's fine.
Interesting. I mean, Selena would have wanted like freedom for at least like a week, I guess, but like go off.
Hey, it's okay. He already showed that he's capable of that critical thinking.
That's fair.
He must have just done it and we didn't see.
Yeah, I actually marked that line on the very top of the page on 519, which is chapter 60. And I want to use this in my vows to my partner.
To me?
Yes.
To me and Cuddle?
When we get married, yes. When we do our blood oath at our wedding, yes.
Oh, yes. And then move into a giant podcast streamer friend house.
Let's call it a castle. Let's go with the theme. The until my last breath and the world beyond to whatever end.
Oh.
That, oh my God.
Yeah.
To whatever end. That is 3 words that, oof, that hit me. That I looked at that and I was like, listen, obviously I whenever I actually get married to my partner, I am going to want to write my own vows, but that line, at least, the until my last breath and the world beyond to whatever end, is so fucking powerful and true and full of love beyond a physical, and it is insane. Absolutely insane.
It's those critical thinking skills.
You're right.
Okay, but I do have a question. Mm-hmm. Can they hear each other's thoughts? But like, can they though? Because they have these quote unquote silent conversation. And it got like, I was okay with maybe the first one when it was just like,
yeah, it was like, really? Yeah, really. You want to go?
Yeah, like that makes sense. Like you can do that with the eyes and be like, but when they start having paragraphs back to each other, when they start conveying some like really sentences, I'm like, how are we? Like, the eyebrows doing silent
dancing.
What eyebrow position is the word is?
Can they? Do we think they can?
I mean, they're mates, so.
They're okay,
but he already had a mate.
Yeah, because he was already mated.
It doesn't matter.
Do you think that she's gone? Do you think she's like a reincarnation of this mate? And like the soul is? I know she's like a reincarnation of whatever, but like...
Yeah, she's a player of long dead characters. That's what the Brannon and Elena and like this and blah, blah, like all these players have been brought back. So I could see it. But, Lucian also thought he had a mate.
Wait, what?
Okay, but they actually are mated.
Who? What?
We just don't like it.
But she's dead, bro. You can't have two.
No, Elaine's not dead.
No, not Elaine. I'm talking about Rowan's partner.
Oh yeah. Wait, you think you gave Lyria one?
I think so.
I know they're like soul friends.
Oh my God, is this a why choose? It's been a why choose all along.
Hear me out. Yes, because obviously we don't really know. We know Sarah J. Maas loves fated mates. We don't really know how it works. Some people say it's like a breeding thing, like a biological thing. Some people, go with a little different interpretations. It's the hands of fate or the goddess herself making these pairings, and sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad or whatnot. Now, I guess this theory really just depends on where you kind of fall on how fated mates work in Sarah J. Maas's universe. If you go with the route that it could be, well, I think either one of those could work, but especially if you're going biological, I do think that would make sense.
Okay, but didn't we say on several occasions, I could probably pull out the books because I still have them pinned, where Hale described there being a tug as if something was pulling them together,
but that's
like a
Selena,
string of
Aelin.
fate.
Not Aelin.
Go fuck she gets a mate for every damn name.
That is why she has so many.
I think
that's why it's a why choose.
Well, I have a theory. The idea is, right, that mates, sometimes they don't know their mates, right? They're around each other for a long time before that mating bond, quote unquote, snaps into place. I think that it's very possible in the world that Sarah J. Maas has set up that you have to hit, maybe it's a certain emotional point, maybe it's a certain, like, a level of emotional intimacy, maybe it's a certain level of love between the two of you that is shared. I don't think the bond between her and Kale ever really formally, like, we get hints at it in this sense of this chain, but it's not described as the same way that we've seen other mates when that mating bond snaps into place. So I think there could be something to be said about some of it being like situational as far as the mates and the bonds and everything along those lines. But I don't think her and Kale's ever really put together. Yeah. But you could also again say that's human, like Selena's mate, and then Faye mate for Aelin is Rowan. Those are two technical different bodies, two technical different potentials, and maybe not for every name, though that is fucking funny.
Hold on. Could you
isn't it matched by the soul, not the...
But who's to say that the two would share a soul? One's immortal.
I want
Selena's
you to know
an animal, technically.
The only thing right now that I'm thinking of is that account on TikTok where that lady has the goose who thinks that they're
Glenn the goose. I love that.
Like, what if Glenn is a fae in he's stuck in his goose form?
Oh, and then she's his mate and she doesn't know it. And he's like, "No, I love you, bitch."
Oh my god!
Thanks. Could you imagine that?
I hate it.
Yeah, yeah.
We gotta find out if that lady reads.
Yeah, point out some books.
If you are listening, we need to know. And there's also a guy, if I remember right, who is like legally married or some to a bird because the bird's like endangered or some shit.
Oh,
and the bird claimed him, and like they only, so they had like a ceremony or some shit. I can't remember. It's been a while. Article. So I'm just saying there's a precedent set for mated bird people. So
Sarah J.
just
Maas,
putting that out there.
She knows.
Sarah just changing the world.
One bird at a time.
One bird at a time. Oh my god.
Is it Rowan a bird? Caw, caw.
You know what? I bet both those bird fae people have tremendous critical thinking skills.
Tremendous.
Especially Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
What a kick-ass name for a fae, Glenn.
Honestly, yeah.
But it's spelled like PHLEGNNE.
Don't give Sarah any ideas. I can't be doing this again.
Listen, I was trying really hard whenever I named characters for our personal book, and I was like, Finn, Fionn. And you're like,
Fionn?
It's Fionn. And I'm like, oh my god, I wrote it. I'm pretty sure it's Finn.
Okay, but, you know, then you can never critique Sarah J. Maas ever again. That's just the rules. If we're going to be naming people like that, then that's all right. But, you know.
I think we're going to have to have like a built-in page to the book with the names and then like spaces for people to write their own names in there.
Smart. Goofy. All right, I know we've gotten really on topic with going with the whole Rowan thing.
Sorry.
No, I love
sorry.
it. I'm here for it. But I did want to talk about the scene that surprised me because I got an inkling of this, and I'm going to tell you the weirdest thing that gave me a feeling that what was going to happen to Saoirse in that whole scene with Dorian, where she gets her body and head. They break up.
It took me a second to be like, they didn't break up. She
the
got
relationship
killed.
is over. They are no longer mated.
Ever mated.
I thought that this is going to be the weirdest thing ever, but do you remember how Selena is always referencing the fact that her and Sam, like, she waited, like, they had never actually had sex together, like, she were both virgins. Or maybe Sam wasn't, but Aelin at least, or Selena at that point was a virgin. And they never had sex.
Whatever name she was using at the time.
Exactly. She kind of regrets it because she waited and whatnot, and, like, she never got to have that moment with him, and, like, whatever. Every time they would describe Dorian and Sorsha together in his room, and how they kind of wanted to go that far, and then like she'd be like, no, I don't think I'm ready, and Dorian would be like, yeah, that's totally fine, which is obviously the bare fucking minimum. But as those scenes kept happening, I was like, this bitch is gonna fucking die. She's gonna die. She's gonna die. Like, have sex with him. You're gonna die, bro. Like, it's like the opposite effect in like a scary movie. In a scary movie, like if you have sex, you're gonna die. It's the opposite for a Sarah J. Maas novel. If you don't have sex, you're dead. You're fucking dead, bro.
Spice is necessary.
Literally. So I got so nervous at those. I was like, I don't know how. I didn't picture the beheading. I didn't picture the scene with the king. But I was like, oh no, she's not long for this world.
I was reading those sections, and when I was like, oh, is it my time? Like, section? And then I looked and I glanced down at the rest of the page, and I'm like, oh, it's only 4 paragraphs and then a cut? No. There's no sex. Like, damn it. And I was like, oh, what do you know?
They could have had a fade to black.
No,
because then she couldn't die.
Don't do this to
Those
me
are the
anymore,
rules.
Sarah.
But yeah, so that, it was surprising, but I was like, oh no. But I don't think she was anyone's favorite here. I mean, we didn't dislike her, but like, you don't really get a lot of bonding. Okay, well, that's...
yeah.
I don't like it when you use women as plot devices.
She gave me
But
Meryl
a man
vibes.
needs it for his character
No,
development.
fuck them.
This is the girlfriend in the refrigerator moment.
That's
for
just
Dorian.
it, is that that didn't happen.
Right. What about favorites, though?
It's gotta be Rowan.
Yeah. I had a
Sorry.
feeling. No, that's not a sorry. I think that's fair.
my basic bitch answer.
No, we love him. He's iconic.
I can tell you who I did not love.
Okay. I'll accept that.
Because I loved all of it. Even the grumpy parts. Except for the motherfucker who fucking betrayed them.
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck is that?
I was like, I have no idea who this motherfucker is, but Jesus Christ, man. The fuck is wrong with you?
I don't remember who that is.
I was just like, I have no idea who you are, but I don't care. I hate you now.
Mm-hmm. You're my mortal enemy.
It wasn't enough that everybody was going to be dealing with this gigantic, big, sad thing. The swelling darkness of, whatever. Mm-hmm. But now we had to deal with motherfucker being a punk ass bitch.
When they revealed it, I felt like I was at a party with someone who walked up who was like, oh my God, hey. And
you're like, oh
my God.
It's
you. Hi. I would say, as far as a favorite and a least favorite for me, well, I'd like to say it's probably a tie for my favorite between Rowan and Celaena. I think in the first half we're all very negative about where Celaena is because she's being a little shit. She's being rude. She's being awful. She is hiding away from the truth. She is
all because of just a little bit more killed
intimacy. Honestly, she is just like she's a hot mess, and no one loves that. No one loved that part. Okay, as far as Celaena and her character is concerned, but I really love this Celaena to Aileen transformation, if you will. Not quite so, because all of those identities will always hold a part of her. But it was really nice to like her again and to see the potential again and to see it not be fake either. Like to see her have these like moments of like letting her guilt go and just a weight that she has carried around with her emotionally for fucking well over a decade.
Yeah.
Over a decade. And to see that gone and to see her grow and how she's willing to sacrifice and the level that she's willing to go to protect people. It's beautiful. And I liked it. I loved Rowan. I loved getting to know him once he stopped being a little shit because they were both little shits half a fucking book. But I love Rowan now. I love that he finally opened up. I love that Emrys was like, hey, what the fuck are you doing to Celaena, bro? Like, what are you doing every day that she comes back here crying and like acts just like emotionally stunted? Like, what are you doing? And Rowan's like, damn.
He put them in a get along t-shirt.
He did. He said, first of all, what you're not going to do. So I
just need somebody to draw that. Just draw Selena Gomez and Broen in a get along t-shirt. It's just do this so much.
I love that. Yes. But my least favorite is got to be that fucking witch that caused the
Iskra.
Yeah, Iskra. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, she's a bitch.
She tries to kill
hurt the sky puppy.
Yeah, and then she kills a fucking wyvern to win a fucking game that she didn't even win.
Listen, don't ever hurt
the puppies.
I
The sky
know.
puppies,
And
the earth puppies,
Going
the
to
water
save her.
puppies. Leave them alone.
They can't. But I want her to die. I want Manon to just fucking rip her apart. Just really looking forward to that. Because how fucking dare you? You try to kill Manon, it doesn't work out for you. You try to kill this other lady, Manon fucking saves her ass. Like, just you're not even good at your job. You're just not
stop.
good. What are you gonna put that on a resume? Like, what were we up to? 3 attempted murders? No actual murders? Like, get it together. Like, it's all about work ethic.
One near-death experience.
I've had no jobs, but I've had a lot of interviews.
Literally.
I'm
Oh
like
my God.
really good at interviewing right now.
What about you, Cuddle? Least favorite? Anyone come to mind?
Yes, and you might not see this coming. It's a group of people.
Okay.
I understand, but I don't allow that to cloud my judgment. And I am feeling very judgy. I am not a fan of any of those fucking so-called friends of Rowan's. They
Even the
whipped
kitty
him.
man?
Fuck the kitty man. All of them.
I
hate
like the
them all.
kitty cat man.
I hate them all. I understand that they had to do what they had to do because of some oath or some shit. I get it. But that's no excuse. I'm still mad at you
They
because
still
you're
shut up.
assholes.
They still shut up.
They didn't even say bye. They didn't nothing. And he's like, just watch out. And they're like, oh my God, that's such a bitch. No, it's not.
I think they were trying to protect
that.
him. I think they were
By
trying to
what?
protect him. Well, here's the
By
thing.
what?
The first person to know that they're mates is the kitty boy. He's the first
How do you know
one.
that?
Because he sniffs at both of them and is like, holy shit. And then
And
he's
he's
like,
like,
never
"Shut up."
alluded to. And that's why he asks her fucking age when he's like, hey, by the way, how old are you? And she's like, 19. And he like, oh, like he like has this really, he's like, God,
like,
Rowan, good luck, bro. Like that was more than like, I mean, I'm sure it's also like, hey, you're really impressive, like magic user. Like what's going on there? That was 100% him being like, how old are you again?
Are you sure you're of age?
I did not take it that way.
I took it that way, and that's why he said "good luck, Rowan." After he left, I was like, "Ugh." So I feel like he knew that, and obviously he didn't want to betray that secret to Maeve. So I feel like a lot of people kind of got that on the down low, and then we're like, "We're dipping out of here because we are going to be forced by our blood oath to tell the truth." So let's like not. That's kind of how I took it. I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt. They could just be fucking assholes, but I gave them that benefit of the doubt, and I feel like that's. Oh, that scene where he just is like, whew, all right, 19. Whew, all right. All right. Rowan's like hundreds of years old. I'm like, this is
I thought he was
fine.
like thousands of years old.
Potentially thousands, yeah. Yeah.
I thought he was like 2,000 years old.
Yeah, you know, we're not very good at math here.
My math ain't math, and
Clearly.
it's fine.
Yeah, and they're like distantly related. That's not a problem, okay? Not to Sarah. Not to fated mates, ever. But yeah, it just gave me that scene in particular.
Maybe
where
we
he's
need to have
smelling,
a conversation with Sarah.
honestly.
Your family member's good.
It just reminds me of Amryn, though. Is Amryn fucking looked at Reese and looked at Farah and was like, because she fucking knows. She fucking knows. And I feel like that guy knows. He's like, uh-oh. So, no big deal.
Well, I still am mad at them because they hurt him with
That's true.
their
That's fair.
little whips, and I didn't like it. And then they didn't
They
even
had
say
to.
bye because that was rude. So
They had to, though. Not great,
I
though.
still don't like it.
Yeah, whenever I was doing Pinterest, I got spoiled a little bit.
So I guess
So I'm gonna stop talking.
So I guess if I had to say a theme, I would say it's betrayal. No, I'm just kidding.
Betrayal, agony.
No,
Oh my
it's
God.
obviously, conquering your inner demons and growing and all that, personal growth. Yuck. Gross.
Yeah, ew.
Couldn't be me. Not having
I wrote down the
therapy.
overall theme so far is I am not my demons.
Yeah. It's very much, you're not your past. You can have
Yeah.
decisions and move on and have that
Yeah.
healing for yourself.
But I did have a lot of it's not, I had okay, so there's a whole other thing that I kind of had. All of the rest of the flags that I have in the book are about the same topic.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that two things. So they mentioned being made like 37 times.
Right. Every time.
They did, yeah.
And they made it, Sarah made a point to say like italicized or whatever over and over and over again. However, on multiple occasions, it is not the king, right? It's Selena. She is described as being a forge multiple times, saying that her magic wanted and craved to create. But how does that make sense? If it's just magic in her blood, I feel like there's more. There's God, because that's some God shit. We know the king is all about dark magic. This doesn't feel dark magic. This feels godlike.
Kind of like with Nesta and the Court of Silver Flames, where like the goddess essentially lets her keep a fraction of her power and stuff.
And if you remember, every time that she went to temples, the temples like hummed at her, you know, and all she did was touch it with her hand and the stones reacted to her. And she has clear favor with the sun goddess, right? Whoever that bitch was. And I'm just saying, what if that's like, and her grandma aunt, or the goddess of the hunt.
Deanna.
Yeah. So she's got what at least they consider to be a god's blood in her. Even though that's a small amount of the magic. I'm just saying, I feel like Selena's more than a demi-fae.
On that point, I have an unpopular theory.
Okay.
Okay, so in ACOTAR, all of the mates, it's not necessarily that it's your true love person. Love is just a bonus. The point of the mates is that is your equal. So Feyre was the equal of Rhys, and you know, they're Nesta, Cassian. Okay. What if the powers that be saw the world and decided that they would bring back all the players, yes, and put Selena Gomez down there as the mate for the king?
Stop it right now.
Because the king has all this power and all this control. Don't at me. All this power, all this control, the ability to literally create people and tear them apart and move the world around. And then she has this power in her that wants to create things and forge things.
Hear me
and
out.
She has.
I hear you, but he doesn't naturally have that power.
No,
He had to
but
acquire.
she, in her situation, is not there by chance. They mentioned that it was orchestrated. So if basically the universe was like, nah, fuck that guy. Here, have this. This is your equal. She's gonna fuck you up.
It could be. It could be.
I hate that with every fiber of my being.
Then it wouldn't matter who she ended up with, and because she would be killing her mate.
Well, so did Tamlin to Amarantha, but that's neither here nor there.
No, that's a completely different topic.
Can I tell you, I'm not looking forward to when she goes back and sees Kale, and then all the feelings are going to be, and I'm like, but no, Rowan, you can't go hang out with me, boyfriend, because of all the reasons. Bitch, let him be a hawk and come look. Like, that's weird. Like,
I don't know why she didn't let him come. Like, I think that was stupid.
I just think,
like, oh my god, I'm back and I have a hawk friend now. Just let it go. It's fine.
Just wear a fucking hat.
Oh my god. But the scene
Spock
where
did it. Okay.
Kale is going to realize that she's not wearing her ring anymore.
Does she even still have it?
Yeah, but she there's a thing where she made a mental note and she took it off. She put it in her pocket.
Yeah, she took it off.
Well, she had two rings in her pocket.
True.
Well, one she gave to Maeve.
She said, first of all, here you go. But that scene, I'm going to fucking die. Watching Kale realize that she's not wearing the ring that he gave her anymore. Oof.
But he even says himself that he could not be with Aelin.
He wants her to be Selena, but he's dumb. It's not his fault. He's dumb.
You know, I just need Kale. I need him to just wake up and realize one day that he's gay.
Who? Kale?
Kale.
Well, he told Prince Douchebag that he loved him.
Yeah,
Oh my
but that was
God.
like a brotherly, like, oh my god, I love you.
Okay, well, cousins are in love with each other here, so who's to say it stops? Who's to say it stops at brotherly love when they're not actually even related? We'll see. The unanswered questions that I want to see in the next couple books here. Where the fuck did Roland and Lady Caltaine go? Like, I know we keep mentioning it with the Duke and shit, but like, when are they going to make their character return?
Oh, well, they do mention where they are physically.
Yes. But like, are they okay? Is Lady Caltaine still going through it? Does she still have her drug addiction? Like, is Roland in on this? Is he not? Like, was he from the beginning? Like, what is happening?
I have a feeling that they come back. And not obviously our next book is going to be the prequel, but after that, we do the tandem read. I think that's when the story splits off. Mm-hmm. So we'll probably get different, like one book will cover a couple of plots and another book will cover the other plots, and they don't interweave. And that's why they want to do a tandem read, because they give spoilers to each other. If you read them together, it makes sense. Sure. But I have a feeling that when we have the witches going down there to be with Caltaine and Duke Asshat, we're going to have Manon's arc kind of take off. Another option, Manon would make an excellent lesbian. Just putting that out there.
Mm-hmm. Not with those nails.
They can retract.
Okay. Yeah. But Manon and more, like that would be that would be pretty cool.
She needs.
Oh my god! Only if Manon like shaved her head and like put on a suit.
All right, fair enough. I'll just
Blue's
like right now.
Done.
First of all,
but yes, that's what I think is going to happen. We're going to get more of all three of their timelines. They're going to converge.
Sure, I could see that. That'd be interesting.
I have a big question and I can't help but ask it. And I don't think there's a real answer except because plot, which kind of frustrates me. But I don't understand why these witches, with all of their power, all of their strength, all of their sheer force of fucking will and desire to fuck shit up, they haven't just murdered everybody. Why? It's not like they can't. It's not like they don't want to. Well, I don't understand why they don't just kill everybody all the time, just everywhere. Just why aren't they just cutting a bloody path to the king to murder him for not letting magic be cool?
Well, he's not. Well, I don't know.
Like,
do they have beef with him for that?
Yeah, because then they can't fly on their brooms and shit. This is before they got the sky puppies.
Yeah.
Why have they just been kind of hanging out all this time and not like just laying waste to everything?
A plot.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's probably just cause plot, but it's frustrating because if I were the super big boss lady and awesome capableness of a whole bunch of super boss ladies with capableness, why the fuck would I let a man like that tell me that I couldn't do things that were literally innate in me and who I am? Fuck you, you small little thing. I will murder you now. Okay, thanks, bye. I will be accepting no notes on this.
I mean, maybe it's because they have that common enemy. Like, they're so focused on this other group of witches that they don't actually see, like, the true enemy around them because of this age-old beef that they have with the Krokans, perhaps? It's kind of like, it gives me, like, Mandalorians and Star Wars vibe. There's just all this infighting, so they are easily destroyed kind of vibe. Because they don't get along. Could be. Could just be plot, like you said.
I hate plot armor.
Did you guys identify with any particular character?
I would like to say Selena /Aelin /Fireheart /Olympia
Right.
Listen, just put ... It's fine.
I would like to say that, but I don't know if I'm that self-aware.
That's a lot more therapy sessions. Why the fuck can't somebody take me to the deepest, darkest recesses of my soul and let me work out my shit? Like, I mean,
I'm free this weekend.
The Demon Prince dudes would have a killer therapy market available to them.
That's true.
You know, the princes, the Valg, make me want to go back and reread Avatar, where they're talking about under the mountain in the prison and about like how that whole thing happened past in their history. I wonder if they're part of the like same And I think I've mentioned this before, but I want to know if they're part of the same like race or world or whatever you want to call it that like invaded or ruled or whatever the Akatar world first before the Fae.
Well, they
took
said
over.
that their realm is all darkness.
Ice and darkness or something, yeah.
There's
think they're
definitely
one of those
sunshine
demons
in-
that like have been brought in. I do think we'll see eventually, though, like the who ruled the Fae before the Fae kind of thing, but I don't know if it's them.
What I wonder is if they have multiple princes, who do the princes answer to? Does that mean there's a king or a queen or an emperor?
A prime minister, if you will.
Mm. A supreme dark dude.
You never know. That's interesting. It'd be cool to get any more backstory. I don't know if we will, but it'd be nice if we got more on them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would say, personally, the one that I identified with is probably Selena / Aelin / Fireheart / Valentia / Selena Gomez. In one specific aspect, at least from this section, I really identified with. So I'm sure if you've been seeing our like posts and whatnot for the podcast, you probably know my identity as a non-binary person as a listener, but if you didn't, there it is. One of the reasons that I very much wanted to change my name, obviously complex gender issues aside, was this feeling of not liking who my dead name, who I was when I was that person. Now, granted, for a little context, the first time I ever referred to myself by my actual name, I was in 3rd grade. Now, that didn't stick at that time, but it was the first time that Blue had made a mention. It had been present in my life as an identity. And it took well into like my early adulthood before I really committed to that change and did some internal work as far as my gender, my identity, things that had to make sense in my life for me and discovering that aspect of my identity. But I would be lying if there wasn't a huge part of me that wasn't just like, I wanted to wipe away the person who I was as a kid, as a teenager. In many aspects, I feel like I was not maybe always the greatest person. I also felt like I went through a lot of traumas that really shaped who I was, and especially during those times, it was really, really impactful. And I wanted to, that was part of my letting go of that guilt, that shame of being a victim, that anger at myself for not being the type of person that I know I am. And I really identified with this whole character arc shift of Selena to Aelin. Like, I notice when Sarah J. Maas is like, Selena's on her way, I'm like, oh shit. Versus when Aelin is. And I wish I could have done that, and I wish I could have had that period of my life in a more positive mindset where the switch from Selena to Aelin is very positive. It's very, I'm not letting these things guilt me anymore. I'm not letting this hold me back. It's, I am not my demons. I am not my past. This. I wish I could have held that. Like, I wish I had read this at that time and had that lesson. But I identify, maybe that's just a level of self-hate you have to get to hate everything around your identity to the very point that your name itself is a problem. Again, complex gender issues aside, because those are very much at play as well. But that very specific aspect of her, even though this character, I'm not inferring that they are a non-binary person or trans or whatnot, that name change and that, like, when this name becomes too heavy, like this change, that's something that I really identified with, that I think that other queer readers could potentially get that kind of message out as well.
Nice.
Hella strong.
Purple, who did you identify with most? And you're not allowed to say Mort. It's just selectively mute.
Fuck off. No, if I wanted to deflect, I'd say the sky puppy. He was sniffing the flowers again.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
I feel a little kinship with Manon. I mean, I wish I could, have some of that capability. But the little part at the end where she's having, thoughts and feelings and having, I know,
No, thank
but
you.
having somebody be like, look, you are so much more than what they have made you to be. I have had issues with people telling me that, I'm one thing or another. I've struggled with that forever, especially from familial sources. And I feel really strongly connected to the beginning of realization, like, oh shit. Oh, you motherfuckers.
Mhm.
She's not quite there yet, but she's getting there. So I feel like that's going to be really, really powerful
Hell yeah.
for me to read. And then of obviously, Dorian kicking his dad in the face with magic, screaming and stuff like that.
I know that means a lot to you because we have not referred to him once this whole podcast as Prince Douchery.
Yeah.
I think I called him Prince Douchebag once. Sorry.
He's turning a new leaf, and I love that.
He will be King Dorian. He's Prince Douchebag.
Oh, that's right.
Interesting.
I forgot about that. I love the part where Kale was like,
"That's a king.
You're
right
not my
there."
king. Dorian is," and I was like,
Yeah, that went hard for no reason.
That slaps.
"Oh
Right?
gosh!"
Yes.
All right. So
yes.
speaking of slapping, I would love to have some words with a character we actually talked about so much, and that would be Maeve.
Sure.
I have some questions for you, Miss Thang. Who hurt you? One. And two, why do I get such strong Amarantha vibes, but like pre-psycho Amarantha?
I can see that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chill out, bro. You got to make your entire city because you're afraid of one little kid.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Insecure much?
Right there, she is the picture of overcorrection.
Yeah. Have you ever been so insecure that you built your entire existence surrounded by things that will not burn? This person gets a little heated.
Yeah, she really built that whole fucking city around one potential meetup to happen with Selena years later. And she didn't even win that interaction, bro. She's been playing chess, but with she didn't know any of the rules. I don't know.
Well,
If you
here's the
think
thing.
about it, it's kind of the opposite of the king, where he made his entire castle thing out of glass, kind of being like, I wish you would, bitch.
And can we not just talk about how that would be the shittiest job in the city, the architect? And you come to find out stories later that all of your painstaking labor was just because she was scared. And you're like, bitch, listen, I came to you with so many concerns about how I'm going to archer this thing. I told you it couldn't be done, but you made me do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would suck. Having your life's work just be because somebody was a little insecure. I'd be pretty mad.
Yay!
Yeah, but at least it did a good job,
Yes, I agree. How about you guys? Do you guys have anybody that you wanted to have some words with? Get it? Words. WYRDS.
I thought we agreed it was weird.
Okay, I don't know. Weird words.
I don't know. I mean, it's fine because it's a fantasy novel, obviously, but the scene where we mentioned this earlier with Rowan's friend, where he's like, so, Aelin, how old are you? And she's like, 19. And like Rowan's standing there like thousands of years old potentially, and like they're in love and possibly mates, and he's just like, oh, okay. Like that was me reading that and was like, yeah, interesting. Right. Again, fantasy, and yeah, she's an adult, and there's much to be said about, I'm sure the fairy aging process and maturity process is not the same as your standard human with a much shorter lifespan. I get it, but I would say that's a moment where I would be like, side eye, Rowan. What's going on there? But as far as this section goes, I don't think there's anyone. I mean, it has been Kale for a long time. Thankfully, he finally got his shit together and is standing up for something and picked a side. So
it took fucking forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's not.
I feel like Carol definitely deserves a fucking lecture and a kick in the ass.
He's the epitome of, what do you want to eat for dinner? I don't know. I don't know. I know I'm hungry, but I don't know what
And then
just make food happen.
Then she picks something, and he's like, I can't love you for what you've decided.
I did want spaghetti again.
God damn it.
Could you just be more like Elaine?
Oh my god. I hate it.
Ooh.
What about predictions?
That sucks.
What do we think?
I think it's time for the for the crown. I don't even know if we need to go into predictions since we've had so many.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We've been kind of going into them all session here. The only thing I'll say is, I mean, I'd like some actual romance. I want them to smooch. Kiss each other.
I got one prediction.
What's that?
Oh.
I think that they're gonna kaboom the glass castle. And the clock tower, obviously, which is, on the grounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna blow it the fuck up.
I would love
glass
to see
go everywhere.
Something related to the water, like with Selena's powers. Obviously, we focus a lot on the fire side, but she does have a drop of some affinity for water. She just
that kind of pissed me off. Hold on.
Wait, why? Why?
No. Whenever they were with Maeve, and he's like, Selena Gomez, I pledge myself to you because plot. Also, I'm a little afraid that we're going to get dead if I don't do it. So then afterwards, and then Maeve's like, peace out. I'm out of here. And then he's like, okay, so I'm just going to heal us. And I was like, bitch, you could have fucking done that all along. What?
Yeah.
What? No! No! Bad Hawkman.
Goofy.
You perfect. No, because she gave you the medicine, and then you guys were all like, I'm gonna nurse you back to health several times this entire time. You could have just fucking healed yourself.
Listen, if it's one thing I know, Sarah J. Maas loves a doctor.
Yeah.
Fuck him. No, he deserves the lecture. He deserves a lecture for that little tidbit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, surprise, I could have healed people this entire time.
My only
I'm a dumbass and let it take forever.
Assassin's Blade, since that's the next one that we're reading, which is going to be a prequel, of course, is that it's going to ruin my life. I'm going to cry.
Sam's going to die.
You mean to tell me?
You motherfucker.
Spoilers, dude.
They're not going to have sex.
Oh my god.
I know.
Yeah, they're not. And I'm not ready for the pain of... Because you're going to go into it and you're going to know what's going to happen, but it's still going to hurt, and I cry every day. You guys know it's my turn for Bay of the Day, though, don't you know that?
I need to know who the Bay is.
I think it's pretty
Unhinged
obvious.
options.
Is it me?
It's always been you.
Yes.
What if I just said something like off the wall and I was like, yeah, Maeve.
No.
Yeah.
Selena's
You
pretty
could do this.
hot.
Oh my god.
It's the monster.
Some would say she's pretty lit.
No.
No, okay. Got it.
No.
I'll workshop it. I'll come back with something else.
Okay. Thank you.
But it's obviously Rowan. I mean, I was kind of surprised there wasn't more romance though. Like we're getting there. They obviously have this connection and this blood pack and they're fucking mates and I know it and I'd bet money on it right now.
They're best of friendos.
For now.
They're Kananamaras.
The Carbonaras.
Karanem, yeah.
They are forever joined in pasta.
Me. But I'm hoping for some romance there. I'm hoping for some type of tension now that, I mean, I know they're going to be separated for a little bit, but maybe when they reconnect, maybe there's a cabin, maybe there's only one bed. I don't know. I mean, I'm not picky. It just whatever happens with that, but I see the potential with him, and yeah, he's got to have Bay of the Day. He's definitely, throughout the course of this book, I mean, especially the second part, who Rowan is chef's kiss.
And
let's be real, it's really just because of the critical thinking.
And he does her tattoo.
Yeah. I love it.
Oh. I would not let my husband tattoo me.
Why have we had that in 2 books? We've had that in Den of Vipers and this now.
I did think, yeah. I was
That's
like,
a trend.
damn.
That's a trend for us. I don't know why, but it's a trend for us.
I'm surprised Selena Gomez doesn't have any more tattoos. Like, this is her first one.
Probably doesn't help for, like, disguising yourself,
Yeah.
I guess.
If she transforms back into a human, is the tattoo still there?
That's a good question. I guess we'll probably find out. I doubt that she's...
Not in the next book.
Yeah, right. She's going to go somewhere, though, in human form eventually, so maybe we'll get some answers for that. But before we get too off topic, I'll go ahead and exit us out here. Just wanted to thank everyone for listening. This, of course, has been Smutty Scriptures, reading Heir of Fire to the very end here, which is about chapter 60, 70, somewhere in there. Next episode, we are actually going to dive into A Touch of Darkness, So we're going to do a little bit of break for Throat of Glass for a minute, a hot minute. And then we are going to go dive into that book. We're going to try to get through in one episode. We'll see how that goes for us. We'll update you guys along the way, of course. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the social media pages. We now have a TikTok as well. I have been loving posting shit on there. Cuddle has been making some amazing memes. We love it. And so we have a TikTok for Smutty Scriptures. We have an Instagram for Smutty Scriptures. The Instagram is probably the best place to get any type of updates. And they also have a bunch of posts for everything on Dual Minds Co., which is these two's designs. Cuddle and Purple Space Cat have really worked hard on a lot of Den of Vipers designs now, a lot of Throne of Glass designs, some book club kits, some really interesting stuff. So I definitely implore you to go check that out. But with that being said, church is adjourned.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
We need to have like the songs that she sings at church or whatever in the old language.
The dirges.
Yeah. I don't know if it sounds like that. I don't know about that one.